Take
Co
us through the last month of using and then take
okay.
us through how you got sober.
COVID, I'm in Memphis, which is where I'm about to go back to. Me and the ex at this point, I've wild out where he's like the true drug addict in me was out that he had never seen. So even he didn't want to be around me. Um, I started putting a needle back in my arm. I started smoking crack again, and it wasn't the same anymore. It was different. The drugs were different.
Why was it different?
Well, from what I've been told and what I was starting to hear was fentanyl. They were starting to put little bits of fentanyl in it, and I was like, "What?" And the other part of this, and I share this, why it was different this time is because for the 10 years of my addiction, I could put on the act. I could make my money. I could give myself to men and put on the act and get taken care of. This was the first time I was tired. I didn't have it in me anymore. I didn't. And when COVID hit, I wasn't bartending and serving anymore. So I would sleep. I would start sleeping with this one drug dealer just to get high, and I was like, to me, that's not me. Because most of my addiction, I would sell myself for money. Because you got to remember, I've dated drug dealers. I've been in the game. I do understand. I know how to move. Whatever. That's insane. The amount of money you can make and buy your own little drugs versus what a drug dealer is going to give you to fuck them it's stupid. And but I didn't have it in me, so the drugs were worse. My soul was empty. I didn't even have it in me to do what I used to do to keep afloat my addiction. That's not me. I don't get homeless. I'm not. I can't. That's not me. I love getting high, but not at that extent. And that's when it got bad. The cutting was bad. It was just all bad. It was awful. I didn't have it in me anymore. Um, And I made some phone calls down here, some people I knew, and I came down.
Willingly.
Yeah, willingly. Now, granted, it took me a few months to really get it figured out because I wasn't going to treatment. I didn't have insurance. I got off the plane and my girl, a friend of mine picks me up. She's like, I can't move you into the house like this. I said,
You were a mess.
yeah. She's like, you're not sober. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I know." So it took me a minute. The first person I call is like my drug dealer from Florida. I was like, "Oh, hey, let me get a little bit more in me." So it took me a minute. Moved into sober living. Got 3 months under my belt. Went back out. Went to Tennessee for 2 weeks. Saw my ex, and then of course that didn't last. Not at all. And then I came back. Moved into sober living. I've been sober ever since. Um,